Group 3 is day 2, so this is the day where we discover the group winner to join Hossein Vafai and Sijar, the players through so far to the winners group. And of course, it is such a high quality group. Mark Selby, the 4-times world champion, the reigning Championship League champion, he made a great start yesterday. 6 centuries, he won all 4 of his matches, so he's top and he's already qualified for the playoffs. Chris Wakelin, Kyren Wilson, Ali Carter all on 2 points. The 7-times world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1 from 4. He won his last match last night against Jack Jones. That's his only point so far. Jones on 1 from 3, and Robert Milkins is not looking good for him at the moment. He's played 3, lost 3, but he does still have 3 matches left, so all to play for. These are the matches we're watching this morning. Table 2, we kick off with the world champion Kyren Wilson against Ali Carter. But table 1, as you can see, Ronnie O'Sullivan against Robert Milkins, and it all will conclude here tonight on table 1 with the Group 3 final. So still a lot of snooker to be played. That table can change. I think we can put Selby through. But as for the rest, there's nobody out yet, even though Milkins and indeed O'Sullivan have got to pull their socks up. Obviously, one of them is going to win this first match. And in the case of O'Sullivan, it'll put him on 2 points. His last match, as you can see, is on table 2 later against Ali Carter. It's about finishing in the top 4. That gets you in the playoffs. Bottom 2 relegated. If you finish 5th or lose in the playoffs, you can come back for the next group tomorrow, Group 4. And of course, the winner will go into the winners group. There'll be 7 group winners who are to contest the winners group first week of February. So it's a high quality lineup, and Robert Milkins, well, he's at the bottom of the table, but Stephen Hallworth alongside me, he does know, doesn't he, that because he's been around this format for a long time, he can still make it. He's got to win his last 3. To be fair, it's not the easiest task in this group.
No, it's a very tightly contested group, but he didn't seem all that optimistic, Robert Milkins, so well, let's see how he gets on today. First up against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronnie really struggled yesterday, new tip trouble, so interesting to see how this one plays out.
Thank you, Ronnie. Have a good game. Thank you. First frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Yeah, O'Sullivan, he made 3 centuries, so on the sort of bare facts of it, he seemed to play well, but there were other points in the day where he was struggling. But he won that last match. He'd lost to Mark Selby, he lost to Chris Wakelin, and lost to Kyren Wilson. But he did beat Jack Jones last up.
Yeah, and of course, Robert Milkins finished in 5th position in the second group, which sort of gives you another bite at the cherry in the next group. So all is not lost yet for the Milkman. 5th position would return him for Group 4 tomorrow. And another chance to just try and find a little bit of form and, of course, rake in the prize money. But he didn't play well yesterday, Robert Milkins. He really struggled.
One.
And of course, because of how the schedule works, Rob's actually playing back-to-back matches this morning. So this match, for me, is very important for Rob. If he gets the win, it may just give him that little glimmer of hope going into his next match. If he doesn't get the win, he'll probably see it as a foregone conclusion, and all hell could break loose in the next game.
Yeah, Chris Wakelin is his next opponent, Jack Jones, his last one. Ali Carter, Kyren Wilson just kicking off on table 2. Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel has that one live. And indeed, all of table 2 live on there.
8.
What I would say about O'Sullivan yesterday is, OK, wasn't at his dazzling best all day, but he was very businesslike. He was trying hard. He's come here obviously trying to get sharp in the lead up to the Masters. No point did he just swing his cue at them.
Yeah, that's what the strange part about it is, really. It doesn't feel like he played all that well, Ronnie, yesterday, and the results would suggest that, but he still made some really good breaks, and as you say, he did try really hard. He was trying to find something.
12.
Made a couple of important breaks at important times as well, so, you know, there are positive signs, I suppose, to take, but Ronnie is such a perfectionist. He'll be looking to improve a lot on yesterday's performance.
17. 18. 22. 23. 30. 31.
'Cue ball just about ran on. This red is
38.
available to this corner pocket, and now from this
39.
blue, we'll be looking for a delicate little cannon into the pack. There's a chance he could lose the cue ball to the right corner of the table here if he doesn't catch these reds full. Yeah, it just drifted on, but he just caught the red on the way down, so this is
44.
slowly starting to look like a good chance for Ronnie.
45. 50. 51.
Guess the beauty of a league format is you can afford to start slowly. You can have a couple of defeats early on. There's still time with 6 matches to play in total to turn things round. Oh, just as I start saying that, he misses that blue off the spot. That'll frustrate him because he's going along nicely. And let's be honest, the table was pretty much at his mercy here.
One.
Bit of interpretive dance there as well from Ronnie, just to let us know how he felt about that one. Was going well. Got the balls pretty much at his mercy there. Had that blue have gone in, it would certainly be 1-0. But all of a sudden, a lifeline for Rob. Can he take it? Probably didn't expect to come back to the table in this frame,
6.
so instantly has to refine some focus.
7.
Well, it's a chance to land an early blow. He's looking for a bit of confidence. And as I say, Milkins has played a match fewer than O'Sullivan, so he could still get to 3 points if he does win his last 3 matches. And you would think,
14.
worst case scenario there, he'd end up 5th. Could certainly get in the top 4. Problem is, he needs frames. I mean, points is the first criteria, but he's only won 2 frames. So, you know, clearly needs to remedy that.
21. 22.
'Well, a player in form that they just take these.
29.
Absolutely no issues anywhere on the table, but
30.
Rob did struggle yesterday. We've already mentioned that. Can he take this chance? Is he strong enough to take this chance? I suppose in some way the shackles are off for Robert Milkins today, because I think in his own mind he's resigned to the fact that he's going to be eliminated. But that isn't the case. That isn't fact.
38.
It can still turn very quickly, and just one shot there from Rob. He's overran the cue ball, so now the yellow's going to be played from further away than he would have liked, unless he takes the yellow here. Well, he's powered the cue ball round, and that's a brilliant shot. He's got so much cue power, Rob Milkins.
43.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Very watchable character, isn't he?
And that was a better shot than it looked as well.
45.
Just squaring the cue ball up off the cushion with a touch of left-hand side to avoid the brown. Ooh, but he needs this one to run. Oh, it's just about crept on. It just goes to show how quick these tables are playing. Absolutely perfect.
$52.
Well, it was the blue that O'Sullivan missed when he was on 51.
57.
And Milkins, in his sort of trademark dashing way, has stepped in here and made a lovely break. The pink is to account for the opening frame. Yeah, it's really nicely done from Robert Milkins. He takes the first frame of the day to lead Ronnie O'Sullivan here, 1-0. Well, a lively start. That terrific clearance to pink from Milkins has given him the opening frame. Just a reminder, he's in last position at the moment, 0 points. O'Sullivan fifth with just one. O'Sullivan's played 4 matches, Milkins 3. Ali Carter looks like he's going to be 1-0 up against Kyren Wilson next door. They're both on 2 points overnight. Of course, Selby is the man sitting pretty in this group. Wonderful display from him. He's got 2 matches to play today, Selby, Jack Jones, Chris Wakelin. But then he hopes another 2 to come in the playoffs, of course.
One.
Well, that was a beautiful strike from Ronnie. After just sitting out watching Rob mop up the previous frame that should have been his. He struck that to perfection, held for the black nicely as well. Yeah, he's gone into them, and I don't think he's landed as nice as he would have liked. He's got a thin cut to left corner, but cue ball will be travelling.
9. Twelve. 13. 18. 19. 26. 27.
He's got 2 reds either side of the pack that will be potable into both corner pockets, so need to do too much here, Ronnie. Just keep close control of his cue ball, which that in itself is the problem at 32. The moment.
33.
You could just see how much of a perfectionist Ronnie is. He's disappointed if his cue ball travels on just an inch or so further than he would have liked. But that's a nicely played holding cannon into the reds, and once again, very similar to the opening frame, he's got the balls pretty much at his mercy here, Ronnie. He'd like to keep himself amongst the black spot for as long as possible now. Keep the cue ball travelling to a minimum.
Yeah, because he was 51-0 up in the last frame, and of course it opened things up, and when he missed milk and stepped in, wants to avoid that again. He sort of left himself a sort of highish blue.
46.
That was the ball he missed in that frame. But no reason to stray from the black here, really.
47. 54.
Well, he played on the red to left corner, but having to take the one to right corner with the long stuff.
Thank you. 55. Thank you.
So, a couple more pots and it'll be a very quick kill in this second frame.
63.
Not happy. Hasn't finished on a red, given the table a kick.
70.
One snooker needed, so it's not quite a clean kill after all.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 70.
Yeah, and that's why he's annoyed, because he knew that Rob would be coming back to the table. Once again, just lack of control with the cue ball. Oh, and that's a brilliant pot from Robert Milkins. What a shot that was. He's done the frame if that doesn't go in. And now he's got a real chance to take another 3 reds with blacks from here, and then leave one final red on the table, try and lay a snooker off it. Well, he's got half a chance here, Rob, he really has.
9.
Probably the red on the pink spot would be the ideal red to leave, because that allows for a relatively straightforward snooker. Send the red up the table into baulk and get the cue ball in behind the pink.
16.
We'll see how he goes about it.
17.
Of course, Rob himself yesterday lost a frame when Kyren Wilson needed 2 snookers, so you know, he only needs the 1 here, looking to do similar to Ronnie. No, but that's not a good shot. That's a really poor shot, in fact.
24.
He had to get high on the red. He needs a black with this red.
25.
If he takes a pink, he can only tie with 1 4-point snooker. And what he's trying to work out here is, in potting the pink, where will it spot? Well, it will go directly behind the red, so it may just make getting the snooker now a little bit more difficult. And the fact he now needs 2 snookers pretty much. 2 snookers to win the frame.
Give me a second, please, Rob.
It was a very basic error that Rob made from the black to cannon the red. He had so much room to get past it and land high on it.
Robert Milkins, 31.
Well, it'd be a big surprise if he didn't hit this. Big target.
Well, the black being slightly off its spot is now helping Rob. It provides a bigger target. Get the red into one half of the table and the white this side. It's a good effort. Can Ronnie just get enough swerve on the cue ball? Doesn't look to be too much of a problem, this. Oh, he's played a little crafty one there, and I think he's got him. Played to angle Ronnie in the jaws of the pocket. What a shot that was from Rob. Oh, brilliant. And Ronnie playing the Massey shot. They're pulling them all out here.
Yeah, to play for the angle, I mean, it's so easy for that to go wrong. You're going off, you look daft. But anyway, a little cat and mouse game this. Where's this cue ball? Oh, no.
Foul. 4. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Again, another very, very poor shot from Robert Milkins. That middle pocket, it never moves. He should have been nowhere near it.
O'Sullivan has kind of butchered that. Milkins will play on with the red. You never know, free balls could come into play, but main thing is make O'Sullivan earn the frame, because you can see he's getting a bit rattled with various things. Every time something goes wrong, he seems to be reacting.
Yeah, and sooner rather than later, Rob will probably lay a good snooker. He keeps getting Ronnie, but they're not that difficult to hit.
Foul.
Well, now he's playing billiards, it would seem, and he has conceded. So after all that, it is O'Sullivan's frame. Entertaining match, this, although I'm not sure either enjoying it that much. We are. It's 1 each.
Frame.
Well, it's not been a long match, but it's been full of incident already, and it is one each. Milkins didn't get the snookers he was looking for there, and so a couple of in-offs helped him make his mind up to concede. One apiece. Ali Carter's pressing on, meanwhile, to a 2-0 lead over Kyren Wilson next door. Carter started yesterday with a 3-0 win over Milkins. Carter at 110 in the first frame. He's actually on for a century in the second. So as Milkins nails the long red. Yeah, here's Ali. Championship League stalwart, of course, looking to do the double, having won the ranking event version in the summer. Emulate. In fact, Kyren Wilson's the only person to have done that. As Milkins tries to get the reds into play. It's okay. He's holding his hand up. I don't know why. I mean, he's trying. The whole point is to land on one. So he's on a break in 92 here, so a couple of 3 pots, and it'll be back-to-back tons to start.
$14.
Milkins has, meantime, not got on the black. It's a big mistake, really. But Ali Carter making no mistake here on table 2. This black, back-to-back centuries to start. Excellent stuff.
Pink ball.
As I say, didn't get on the black, so having a look at the pink, and Mauro Milkins knocks it in. But it's already been one of the more adventurous 21 breaks. Terrific pot. I mean, he didn't want to have to play it, but he's knocked it in.
Yeah, great shot from Rob. Staying aggressive, staying positive. That's what he's got to do. Now he's back in amongst them. He'd love to drop this red in and then play into the pack from the black with that one red at the back that's available.
29.
So can he just float this in and leave himself low? No problem. So
30.
It's now a key shot to winning this frame, perhaps. He gets so much work on the cue ball, Rob, with very little effort. He does have a red available to left corner, but
37.
How's the angle? Is it favourable?
Just while he looks at it, Carter's break ended at 116. There were 25 still on. He could actually have set the new high break, because Mark Selby made 140 yesterday. Could have made a 141, but Selby's 500 quid. He's safer now. Problem is getting to this cue ball, really.
I think he's going to need all sorts out here, Rob. Maybe the extended spider, which is a piece of apparatus you don't see very often. He's opted for the swan neck. Is there enough extension over these reds available for him? As you say, just getting to the red is difficult, but potting the red and getting on the black as well may have to play a cannon to another. Yeah, he's changing his route here, Rob. The red closest to the black will thin clip into the left corner. It's just much more difficult pot. But at least he can get to the middle of the cue ball.
Robin Wilkins, 37.
I mean, the pockets have been playing a little generously, but that was never really going to go in. It was wide. So 37 the lead. Ball's in open position, so he'll be concerned.
One. Eight. Nine. Sixteen.
So a good chance for a
17.
counter-attack here. The reds are all around the pink spot. I think they're all pottable. As he pots one to one corner pocket, it will open another to the opposite. So once again,
24.
Ronnie's cue ball control is important
25.
here. He's getting on the reds nicely to stay on the black for as long as possible.
$32. 33. $40. 41. $48. 49.
Well, this time he's been inch perfect every shot so far.
57.
Continuing to get high or at least straight on all of the reds to ensure we can get back for the black. Limits how far the cue ball travels, makes the game a lot easier. He has taken these very well.
$64.
Yeah, so needs the two reds. Hopkins was left
65.
with that awkward red with all the long stuff. Just overcut it, left it in the jaws. Sullivan 33 in front with 35 on, so this red with 2-1 lead.
70.
Yeah, and no
71.
mistake here. Been nicely controlled. And enough on to make his 4th century in this group.
76. 78.
In fairness to Ronnie, he's looked really sharp when he's been in amongst them. It's just been the odd shot, just the one shot here and there that's, well, cost him at times and cost his
85.
mood at times.
$90.
He's annoyed not to make the century, but it's a frame-winning break. When the chance came, he took it well. 90 from O'Sullivan. He leads Milkins 2-1 and needs one more for victory. This is what's happening on table 2. Ali Carter's made back-to-back centuries to lead Kyren Wilson 2-0. They're both on 2 points overnight. And the only difference being Carter's actually played 4 matches, Wilson 3 prior to this. I think it would be a surprise if the two of them didn't qualify for the players, but we'll see. Meantime, Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Robert Milkins 2-1. If O'Sullivan wins this match, he will actually, for now, go second in the table. He's 5th at the moment, but on frames 1 he would go above all the other players on 2 points, but of course either Wilson or Carter are going to get to 3, so realistically he'd be 3rd, so he would be in a playoff place for now, but he's only got one more match to play later against Ali Carter.
Yeah, and of course this is pretty much a must-win match for Robert Milkins, so he's got to turn this one around somehow. And that's a good start.
1.
He likes a long pot, doesn't he? He's bonded a few today.
Six.
Yeah, but then sort of closer in, it's been going wrong.
Robert Milkins 6. 6.
Ronnie purposely playing the cue ball over the right side of the table there because there's a lot more traffic down this side. Less room for Rob to find a path back to baulk. Having to swing the cue ball round himself, and he's played it really well. Now Ronnie has the path down the back of the black. Try and get the cue ball in somewhere middle of the baulk cushion. Not able to find it, so hand on table now for Robert Milkins. I expect Ronnie to be in big trouble the next time he comes back to the table.
1.
Well, he's had chances in every frame, Milkins. This is another one. He's second, in fact, of this frame, having not that good long reading earlier.
Six. Seven. Thirteen.
Kyren Wilson has won frame 3 against Ali Carter, so 2-1 to Carter.
Played on the black there, Rob, to just get it out of the way, tidy up this end of the table. Black will go up on the brown spot because that's the next
21.
highest spot available for it. And now Rob looking to play this red just to completely open the pink spot and then get to work on the remaining reds. They're all kind of covering one another over that right side of the table, so it's maybe not as straightforward a chance as it looks, but it is a chance. And Rob's still at the table, which is important. He'd be disappointed, really, not to have kicked on from that opening frame when he pinched it from Ronnie. Made a very good counter clearance.
28. 29. 35. 36.
Now Rob has the perfect angle here. He may can just float this cue ball. Well, he decided not to. He's come down for the red beneath the pink. But he may have had the angle to just drop that blue
41.
in and played for 3 reds into the left corner pocket. Oh, and that will really annoy him because these pockets are
41.
playing on the generous side. The fact he's missed that was a bad miss from Rob.
It's been the story, really, for him in this group. It's not... The problem hasn't been getting chances. He's had loads, actually, but just things like that going wrong unexpectedly. And the concern now, O'Sullivan is going to punish thoroughly. Well, that was the concern, but it's not happened. The cue has taken a bit of punishment there.
Okay, thank you. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1. It's okay, okay.
He's apologising now to the referee and to Rob Milkins. Just a rush of blood.
I felt like doing that all day yesterday. Not the cue, huh? Not the cue. Use the fist, mate.
Oh, that one hurt. I hope he's not damaged his cue there, Ronnie, because that was a big whack. Fair play to him for apologising straight away. He didn't mean any disrespect by doing that. He's just absolutely furious with how he's playing. Here it is again.
Yeah, I mean, it's wood on wood, isn't it? And you could hear it was a loud old smack as well.
Well, he's got a pretty strong cue, clearly, because I've seen cues go when a player has done that. Well,
looks like He's sort of in no man's land here, Milkins. But, I mean, you know, you get people out there saying, oh, he doesn't care, you know, he's not bothered about winning or losing. He would not have won as many tournaments if he didn't care. And right now, he's just trying to find something. It's been a mixed bag, as Milkins did still try and pot that red. It's been a mixed bag. We've had centuries from him and big breaks. But at other times, he's become frustrated. But Milkins is kind of setting him up again here. He was on that red, and again, he's left it in the jaws.
1.
Seems the cue's okay. Position, not so much.
5.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't easy, clearly.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Now, if Rob can get nice on the blue here, it's a chance to drop on these reds. May have just a trace too much angle. We always look to be running close to the blue.
1.
So now much more difficult task ahead to get nice on the reds. Might have to play the green round a couple of cushions.
Green ball.
Try and just swing the cue ball round. Well, not even tempted by it.
Robert Milkins, 1.
Yeah, trying to put the green safe, although it wasn't really. O'Sullivan just has a whack. An emotional roller coaster, this match, isn't it?
One.
So he needs this red, which surely going to find its target.
5. 6.
O'Sullivan lost a bit of discipline there. And so the first match of the morning has gone the distance. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Robert Milkins 2-2. The decider is coming up shortly.
Welcome back to the Mattioli Arena here in Leicester. It's our second match of the day, and we're going to have a look at the group standings for this third group of this invitational version of the BetVictor Championship League Snooker. Mark Selby topping the table, hasn't lost a match yet. Kyren Wilson doing okay in second place, played 3 matches, 2 wins for him. Same for Ali Carter. Now, he started fantastically yesterday. Ali Carter, has to be said, 2 matches out of 2, hadn't lost a frame, but things have changed for Ali Carter. He's now played 4 matches and hasn't managed to win in his last 2. Chris Wakelin in 4th place, also on 2 points. O'Sullivan, well, he just lost to Rob Milkins, didn't he? 3-2. That was a seesaw match. Could have gone either way, but it was a bit scrappy in the end. Jack Jones has played 3 matches, just 1 win for him, but still plenty of matches to play. But we do know he has a few problems with his neck. Rob Milkins, the wooden spoonist at the moment. He's played 4 matches and has just got his first win over Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's always a feather in anybody's cap. And it's Robert Milkins who has just come back into the arena.
Yeah.
And he's about to take on Chris Wakelin. Now, they've played 5 times over the years. Most of them actually have been in the Championship League. Chris Wakelin leads the head-to-head 4 matches to 1, but the major match, I suppose you could say they've played, was back in the quarterfinals of the 2023 German Masters, and Rob Milkins won that match 5 frames to 3. But current form would suggest that Chris Wakelin is possibly the favourite here. Best of 5 again, important for Robert Milkins this match. Desperately needs to get wins on the board to have any chance of qualifying for the semi-final stages later on, or even getting into 5th place, where he'll come back for the remaining groups he played this week, Group 4, which will commence tomorrow. With me to enjoy this once again, Stephen Hallworth. Stephen, have you played either of these players before?
Can't remember a time I've ever played Robert Milkins. I've certainly played Chris Wakelin. Grew up with Chris, really. I suppose he was kind of the era above me. Remember, the first ever trophy I won playing snooker was runner-up to Chris Wakelin in an English junior tour many years ago at the Cue Ball Club in Derby. Little gold trophy I got. Absolutely buzzing. Still got the photo actually somewhere online, and it often just pops up on the memories, and me and Chris, we both had full heads of hair. Can you believe it? Sure, Robert Milkins could probably have done with a lie down after that last match. An emotional roller coaster for both players. I'm sure they were both glad to see the back of that game. That was, well, let's say a shocker.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the table, Ronnie O'Sullivan has played 5 of his 6 matches and he's only won 1 of them. He is currently in 5th place, but that's probably going to change. The 3 players that are really struggling for wins, O'Sullivan, Jack Jones and Milkins, but Jack Jones has played 3 matches, Rob has played 4. This is Rob Milkins' penultimate match. So if Rob were to lose here, I suppose you could say that Ronnie O'Sullivan and Rob Milkins could well be relegated.
What?
Rob Milkins, twice a ranking event winner. Firstly at the 2022 Gibraltar Open. Won his first ranking tournament there. Best of 7s all the way through. I remember the turning point for me. I think it was in the last 16. It was 3-1 down to Mark Allen. won 4-3 and beat Kyren 4-2 in the final. And then, of course, we'll never forget, will he or we, his victory at the 2023 Welsh Open. Beat Sean Murphy in a classic match. And he won the BetVictor bonus, won all sorts of bonuses. It was worth over 300,000 to him victory there. And bearing in mind all the invitational events he qualified for as a result of that victory, it was a life-changing sum of money for Rob Milkins. Something, of course, he'll never forget.
90. $20. $27.
Regardless of the win that Rob just had against Ronnie, can't imagine his mood will have improved all that much. The performance wasn't
28.
great. And yes, a win against Ronnie at any stage is a feather in your cap, as you say, Dom, but Ronnie pretty much just had a lash up in the final frame there, was smashing balls all over the place, so it was just about getting the job done. It keeps his hopes alive, Robert Milkins, as you say. He's just on the single point. Still 2 matches to be played,
35.
but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that he could still scrape through. These groups can change very quickly. And of course, in a group phase format, it's not always about the results you get. Sometimes results elsewhere can fall nicely for you.
$41.
That was unlucky. Rob Milkins trying to take the cubel into the group of reds just below the pink there and just spun off them a little bit. He may still take this red on. No, played the safety.
Robert Milkins, 41.
It's a good one as well. Useful start here in frame 1 from Rob Milkins. See what a win can do for your confidence.
One. Six. Cheers, Rob. Thanks. 7. $40. 15.
Well, that little cannon hasn't worked out, so he's going to have to play the green probably in and out of balk. Or the yellow provides the same sort of shot round the other way. He refused one similar to this against Ronnie in his opening match. Just wonder with this lead, well, he is staying aggressive, staying positive. But that cannon hasn't worked out.
70.
Rob playing a safety off this red next to the cue ball because, well, he's miscued. He's left everything on.
Milkins.
And the reason he played that red,
70.
he didn't want to bring one of the safe reds into play. But now he wish he did. Key thing is, does the black pot to the right corner?
One. 8.
Stephen, is he not on the red?
Spotter.
Yeah, he's asking our referee Rob Spencer to respot that black.
I can do it this side, Chris, so you can see. Yeah, because obviously that's the middle of the cross there, yeah. So, just trying to make sure you don't roll off, you see. Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Don't go now. It went for that last time.
It's dropped up as I've let go of it, yeah. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's just rocking ever so slightly, you see.
Yeah, there's a slight depression in the spot, and it's imperative, it would seem, that this black is absolutely pinpoint on its spot. That would make a difference as to whether that red next to the black will pot or not. Well, Rob Spencer's very happy now that black is in the correct position, so does the red still go?
No. $60.
Well, you wouldn't class this as a great chance to land a body blow to Rob Milkins here with a counter clearance, but it's a chance for Chris to at least threaten the scoreboard. The red on the right side of the table shouldn't be too much of an issue for a right-hander. It's just the red down the left side.
Given the size of these pockets when you're playing the ball down the cushion, Stephen, would you be happy dropping in behind both of these reds, or would you try and develop one of them?
25.
I think I would, from what we've seen. I think I would be happy to drop in behind. And Chris has decided to do that here, and it's not a bad shot choice really, because he can give this red every chance, just float this in.
32.
He's just looking for an angle off the black to just get close to that red on the right side, so a couple of big shots coming up here for Chris if he's got any aspirations of winning this frame. But they've played like caves, these corner pockets, haven't they, Dom? Absolutely huge at times. I think Chris will fully expect to knock this in.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you. 33.
Never pockets play a little on the spacious side, shall we say. I've heard all sorts of terms to denote that, but caves I've never heard. Lakes, buckets, manholes, but never caves.
I think as well in your own mind as a player, when you acknowledge that the pockets are playing on the generous side, as you say, playing in behind that type of shot never seems a problem, but 9 times out of 10 you often see that the players knock it right into the heart of the pocket anyway, because they feel like they can't really miss it, or they should get very close to it. It just sort of focuses the mind, and quite often they get the middle of the pocket, but not that one for Chris Wakeling. That added little bit of pace
40.
and inaccuracy. He's missed it. That's the difference. If you drop that shot in, it probably goes in. But the fact that he was playing with a little bit of pace just made it missable. So Rob Milkins' chance to put this frame to bed.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you. 1.
It's the fact that Chris Wakeling played the red with such pace. Just shows how big he felt the pocket would be playing, but you've always got to be accurate, or a little more accurate when you play at pace anyway.
5. Sam. Sam. 14.
Well, Rob Milkins has certainly won this frame now. Such a talented player, Rob. He just, first sight, you see, just picks the angle, cues it, and times it beautifully. Doesn't bother with the pink. He wasn't on it really anyway. Just practice as a safety shot. He's done more than enough to win this first frame. It was a frame that he could have lost in the end. Chris Wakelin missed that red to the black pocket, and Rob Milkins did the rest. So it's Rob Milkins who draws first blood and leads 1-0. Well, welcome back. Rob Spencer.
The second frame.
Let's just announce the commencement of frame 2. Rob Milkins having won the first. And have a look at this break-off shot between the blue and the pink to catch the end red, or the one next to it, and back into bolt. Now, I've only ever seen that played on a couple of occasions. I think Rob did it himself yesterday. He's done it there against, and I've seen it one more time. I think I was commentating on a match a couple of years ago, and someone did it in an attempt to not leave a potable red on from the break-off shot. Is that something you've ever seen, Stephen?
No, and it's something I've never even tried to play either. So, well, there's method in the madness, because you got a pretty decent cue ball. Red's opened up nicer, and straight away Chris has returned a poor safety shot. So, a chance for Rob straight away in the second frame. And he knocks in the red, so it was a good decision.
Might set a trend.
Full.
And let's have another look at this break-off shot. Now, you have to place the cue ball right next to the yellow, because if you don't, there isn't a gap between the blue and the pink. And you can't get through to the end red. You have to hit the second red from the end. If you can play it as well as Rob Milkins did, you create an entirely different angle for the cue ball. The red's go in an entirely different position on the table, and quite often, if you play it well, you won't leave a pot on. That's the reason why that Rob has decided to play that way. Now, Rob is a very creative player, we know that. Has a lot of flair. A lot of the other players probably wouldn't want to play a break-off shot like that.
7. Yeah.
Well, after the theatrics of the opening game here on Table 1, I've just had it on good word that Ronnie O'Sullivan has actually withdrawn from the event. Still with one remaining group match to play, he's seen enough. It was an emotional rollercoaster, that match against Robert Milkins, and he's decided that enough is enough. He's withdrawn.
8.
And apparently his cue's in the bin in the players' lounge, so it's all happening here in Leicester. He certainly imploded in that opening game, Ronnie. He was absolutely furious with nothing but himself, just the way he was playing. Things weren't going right. Robert Milkins getting the win in the end. Ronnie O'Sullivan having a lash up at times, just smashing the balls. He clearly didn't want to be here and has taken the decision to withdraw.
But before we have a stampede to the Mattioli Arena in Leicester, that Ronnie's cue has been picked up by his manager, so to speak, Robbie, and so that will be taken into care and maybe given back to Ronnie. Maybe it's a bit of a tantrum, I suppose, and I'm sure Ronnie will be reunited with the cue. Whether he'll want to use it in the Masters on Sunday, I have no idea. But there is a rule in case of a situation like this, because of course you could withdraw through illness. So the rule is basically all the matches that Ronnie O'Sullivan has played currently will now be voided. So unfortunately for Robert Milkins, who's just beaten Ronnie, the fact that he won that match won't count from Robert Milkins' point of view. So although he's still in the points table, having won his first point, his first match, well, he'll go back to 0, unfortunately.
Well, there's only one player in the group that's
23.
happy to see Ronnie withdraw, and it's Jack Jones, because the only player... Well, it was Jack yesterday. He lost to Ronnie, didn't he? So that now will come off the tally. So there's going to be so much movement in this group, and it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen now going forward. But I'm also aware that the high break that Selby made yesterday against Ronnie O'Sullivan, he made 140 break. That break will still stand. So Mark Selby's still on course for the £500 high break.
Well, it's clearly going to take a little while to update the table and get absolute clarification on all the rules, the way it all works. But yes, I do know though that all of the matches that Ronnie's played will now be voided, so the table will have to be rejigged a little. The odd thing though, there are 4 players out there now that will be completely oblivious to this fact, including Robert Milkins here, who's just beaten Ronnie. And the fact that his match with him will be voided and a point will be taken off Rob Milkins, he could end up now not being in a position to qualify or even get 5th place, and is almost certain to be relegated, possibly. The surprising thing, though, was the fact that Ronnie decided to put the cue in the bin, because he's used that cue since 2012. But we know he had tip problems, don't we, Stephen? He had a new tip on his cue, so that's the primary issue, is the tip. If you don't have a tip on your cue that you like, you'll never play well with it anyway.
Well, he whacked the table so hard with his cue, and I was very anxious to see whether he'd done any damage to the actual shaft of the cue, because, boy, he gave it a good whack, and it made the most awful noise. Never a nice sound to hear that as a player, because you just know. I mean, I've seen cues go when players have done that, and They've just smashed it. Oh, what a pot that is from Robert Milkins. Wow. That was an unbelievable pot. And look at where the white has gone. It's all happening.
And this is why Rob Milkins can perturb a lot of the top players, because you never know what you're going to get for him. He's so talented. He can pull out a shot like that at any time. And he's not dissimilar to a lot of players. He can be a little volatile, and he can throw his arm at something like that and pot it.
He's not looked in the best of spirits, Rob Milkins. And I can't imagine his mood will have improved from that shot, and it certainly won't improve when he finds out that his only win that he's registered will now be scratched.
Yes, I think it'll have our rule makers scrambling for their books just to clarify things, but it does happen. Players have withdrawn before. It's not a new thing, but it was a shame when it happens. Of course, it could have been Jack Jones, because he's got problems with his neck. He's had a bit of physio on it, but he's decided to continue.
This frame has become very cagey. Now there's been a lot of safety shots played, and all the reds have sort of collected around the black spot. Not an easy chance for anyone should either player get in.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris.
As commentators, Steve, we always need to keep an eye on things, don't we? But a lot of the time we keep an eye on things in the players' lounge. Unfortunately, there's no sound on the televisions there. We can keep an eye on what's happening, but there's no sound. I had no idea that I may well have caused damage to his cue, because I couldn't hear audibly anyway sound of the cue hitting the cushion rail.
I tell you what we are missing here at Championship League, and for any event actually, a players' lounge cam. Just to keep an eye on things. It would have been good value to see Ronnie chuck his cue in the bin.
Well, I'm pressing for a decent coffee machine in most of the players' lounges, but I think that might be a step too far. Players' lounge cam's a good idea.
Mind you, some of the conversations that go on in the players' lounge is probably best that no one hears. Well, let's just quickly take you back to this first match, Ronnie O'Sullivan. This was the pink he missed, and then watch what follows. Listen to that sound.
Oh, yes. Now, that will have damaged the cue because it's quite near the end of the shaft. There will be a dent in the cue. Now, the problem for that is as well, looking at it, Ronnie didn't give himself chance to twist the cue in any way. So basically, for me, he'll have damaged the back of the shaft where it runs over the bridge. Because it's near the tip end, every time he cues, he'll be feeling a big dent in the cue. And I, for one, think that's probably why he put it in the bin, because he probably didn't think it was salvageable.
Yeah, and then it was probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 shots later that he just smashed the pack, and I think that was why. He felt there was damage to the cue, and he just wanted to get out of there.
I think that's a mistake. He's left the red on. His intention was to leave hamper queuing, but as you can see, he hasn't really.
Yeah, that's a good pop from Chris, and that cue ball just pulling up. And a nice cannon to the pink. As Chris looks to go about business here in this frame, quickly pop across the other side of the arena and have a look what's going on over on table 2. Mark Selby in a commanding position against Jack Jones. He's been very much the man to beat in this group so far. 4 matches played, 4 matches won.
7.
Yeah, he's looked very solid, Mark Selby.
8.
Such a great all-round player. He's one of the best potters and scorers. Reminds me very much of John Higgins in his heyday. Selby, 4 times champion of the world. As of course is John Higgins.
14.
So Chris Wakelin looking good to level this match up here at 1 frame all.
15.
Was too straight on the red to get top side of the pink, so took his medicine and left himself angle enough to get in and out of balk easily. Plenty of space to just stun the cue ball off the top cushion, but he needs this cue ball to pull up. Well, it's landed
20.
in the one spot where he's on nothing, so that break very quickly came to an end. He's got a decent lead here, Chris, and a chance to push a red safe,
Chris Wakelin, 20.
which he's not really made a good job of.
You're dead right. I'd certainly have wanted to put a red safe there because everything's available. Failing that, I'd be playing a safety shot that may have cannoned the brown to the bolt cushion. Something safe would have been so helpful.
Because now look where he is. Finds himself in trouble himself. May not have any safety options here. He might have to go for this red, Chris. He's just dumping the cue ball. And he wants that red to run. He doesn't want it to go over the middle pocket, and that's exactly where it's gone. What another error that was from Chris.
And when you're Rob Milkins coming to the table, certainly pricks the ears up a little bit when you know you've got a great chance like this. With all the balls set out in the open, you know that you can win the frame from a scoring visit, but that has not worked out. He's on the yellow. But he has absolutely no angle of any significance to work with. So he's just muscled the yellow in. Ah, what a shot he's played there. He put everything into that. And somehow he's found the absolute perfect line and length for this red to right corner. What a shot this is.
4.
Oh, do we have a new favourite for this second frame? Possibly.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, everything has pretty much opened up, so it is a good chance. It wasn't a few moments ago, but it is now. Made a very good clearance, Robert Milkins, in the first frame against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronnie got in with a break of 51, broke down, and Rob did the rest. Similar scenario here. Oh, but he's tried so hard to hold the cue ball there. And he's willing, he's stamping his foot. The red's not going to drop, Rob.
Oh, Rob is absolutely livid. Because he played a drag shot there. Well, he didn't play a drag shot, he played a very soft stun. But it became a drag shot because he decelerated. He didn't push through the shot properly. Mistimed it completely. And that will be infuriating. And these are the things, aren't they, Stephen? They're difficult to put out of your mind, but because if you don't, you'll lose the next frame as well.
Well, look at Rob in the background there. His head is bowed and his head is in his hands. He can't believe what he's just done. Well, there you see, look, he's absolutely fuming with himself.
50.
It's a horrible sport, this snooker, at times, isn't it? The things you have to process in the mind.
60.
Because when he starts his third frame, it'll be 1-1 now. He's got to completely eradicate that. Because, as I say, if he doesn't, it could affect the way he plays in the next frame, and that would be no good at all, of course.
23.
And it's a very intense environment at the best of times playing snooker. Made
24.
even worse when you've got negative thoughts going through your mind. That seat is the loneliest place in the world as a player.
Chris Wakelin, 24.
Well, it doesn't matter at all about the pink. Chris Wakelin in the end will have been absolutely delighted to have won that frame, because for a moment it looked as though Rob Milkins might have stolen it. But we are level, and it is 1 frame all. Rob Milkins has just made his 198th career century, on a break of 113 in the previous frame. Must be feeling a lot better now. Just one frame away from victory here against Chris Wakelin, a player that he hasn't had a lot of success against down the years. Chris Wakelin leading the head-to-head 4-1. There was a 2-2 draw in the previous version of the Championship League. But most of their encounters have been here at the Championship League, including in the previous group that Chris Wakelin managed to beat Rob by 3 frames to nil on that occasion just a few days ago. Also played in the Championship League last year. Chris Wakelin won that match 3-0, so Rob will be very pleased to be 2-1 ahead of him here. And another good red. All ball kiss on that red to the side cushion would have left him nicely on the black, but he's okay on the blue.
Yeah, another good long red. Finds its target. And the blue crunched into the green pocket as well to follow up. So looking good. Good signs.
6. 7.
And now nicely in. Chance to go into the reds here. Doesn't need to go into them with too much pace. There's a red at the back of the pack that will go to the left corner pocket. Just move a few reds out of the way. Well, he decided to go into them with pace, and he isn't nicely on a red.
14. Robert Milkins, 14.
Just lacking a little bit of consistency, Rob, which is probably expected. I mean, he won't be in the Masters in a few days' time. So this is all he'll be practicing for. He's got the German Masters at the end of the month. He's just a little rusty, that's why he's a little inconsistent.
Robert Milkins, 14. Eight. 9.
'Selby over on table 2, closing in on victory.
60.
Just one ball away. In fact, he's just potted the pink to left centre, so he's safe. He will be a 3-0 victor over Jack Jones. Now, Ronnie O'Sullivan was due to play Ali Carter on there next, so that match won't be taking place, of course, as we have a look at the split screen. Been a good performance this from Mark Selby, hasn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, solid as a rock as always, isn't he, Mark? And he's just turning the screw once again in this group. Another victory to add to the collection from yesterday. Very, very solid player, Mark. He doesn't have to play well to win, but as it happens, he's played very well this past day and a half. So looking to really kick on, and he'll be a game for anyone in the playoffs later on. Of course, defending champion as well, Mark Selby. Not an easy task to defend this title with it being the group format. Very unpredictable, but Mark, so far so good. He's unbeaten.
32.
Bob Milkins hoping for a mistake. Ever alert as you must be when you're in your seat. You have to watch your opponents. You never know when you could be back at the table. Opponent could miss something easy. We've seen plenty of mistakes. Suffer a kick, go out of position. All sorts of reasons why he could be back at the table much sooner than you think.
40. 41. 46. 47.
So far so good from Chris, just taking these nicely, and he's a couple of balls away. There's enough in open play here for him to win this frame at this visit and take us the distance. Second match of the day, potentially here on table 1, that has gone the distance to a deciding frame finish.
52.
I expect it to get pretty tense because we've already alluded to the fact this is a big game for both players in terms of the group standings, so could be a one-frame shootout to decide who makes the playoffs come the end of the day. It could be very telling, this result.
Nearing the winning line now in this fourth frame, 45 points the lead, but still work to do. This is the last of the easily accessible reds. Tried to bring another into play and has done. So if you can pot the yellow and then that red that he's just developed with a decent value colour, he would be safe.
62. 63.
They can just punch the cue ball across the face of those two reds and play for either of them into the right corner pocket. I'm sure one of them goes. The top one, presumably. And he's perfect on it, so it's been a good visit from Chris, considering.
69.
And we are going the distance.
70.
Chance to respond with a century of his own as well.
77. 78.
Milkins made a break of 113 in the previous frame. Wakeling with a chance here to make one of his own.
$86.
And struck that red nicely, so nothing in his way here from racking up another century break. Chris Wakeling. There's been tons flying in all over the place in this group. It's been a really high standard.
91.
There's been some really bad stuff along the way at times, but some really good stuff as well. It's been a mixed bag. Mark Selby still in pole position for the £500 for the high break. Chris Wakeling can't threaten that here, but chance to just add another ton to his career tally.
105. Chris Wakeling, 105
Well,
on the frame.
the pink hasn't gone in, but the century break was made. That's Chris Wakeling's 120th century of his career. But more importantly, it's drawn him level with Rob Milkins. We're going the distance here. It's 2 frames all.
Welcome back to Leicester. Now, Ronnie O'Sullivan, we saw earlier, was clearly getting frustrated against Robert Milkins. He has made the decision to withdraw from the tournament, so he won't be playing his last match against Ali Carter. It means all the matches he was involved in have been voided, so that's why he's on 0. The players, I should say, will still get their prize money because those frames were played. Mark Selby's highest break of 140 was made against O'Sullivan. If that stands, he'll still get the £500, but the results have come off, so the points that those players earned have come off, so that's how it leaves the table. Selby is still unbeaten, 4 out of 4. Because Ali Carter was due to play O'Sullivan. That's not going to happen now. He's on 2 points. Kyren Wilson on 2. Chris Wakelin, Robert Milkins, Jack Jones all on 1. So effectively now it's a 6-man group. Still the top 4 will go through. And only one player, aside from O'Sullivan, will be relegated. Of course, the 5th place player comes back for Group 4. But Ronnie O'Sullivan has taken the decision to withdraw. Kyren Wilson and Chris Wakelin sticking it out, though, and this is an interesting match because, of course, they both beat O'Sullivan. So, in a way, in a sense, it doesn't really alter the dynamic between these two. They've both got another match after this. Wakelin plays Mark Selby, of course, who's top of the table. Wilson plays Jack Jones in a repeat of the World Championship final. I guess in a way the person who's lost out is Ali Carter because he's been denied a chance to earn any money from that last match, but he's still looking good in the table in 2nd place.
Yes, and Rob Milkins, of course, because he beat O'Sullivan.
Yeah, but of course O'Sullivan also lost to 3 other players as well. Jack Jones actually, I mean, Jack, I don't you mind me saying he made the point in the players' room. It kind of worked out well for him because he lost to Ronnie. So it doesn't actually affect him. All the others have lost a point.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Ronnie had only won 1 match. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the table now, Rob Milkins has played 4 matches. Jack Jones below him in 6th place. The player in the other relegation spot has only played 3 matches. So Rob's still in a little bit of trouble.
Well, they're about to start actually against each other on table 2. Matcher Multisport YouTube channel with that one. Kyren Wilson turned it round from 2-0 down to Ali Carter as Wakelin misses that by some distance. Yeah, to win 3-2 earlier, and Carter had 2 centuries, so it was a terrific win for Kyren. Wakelin's challenge just starting to fade a little, maybe. He's played a lot of snooker here. Of course, this is his 3rd group, so 6th day of action. He's just lost to Milkins.
Early on in a match, at the beginning of a match, you can always miss a pot like that. Just a quick word though on Ali Carter. He won his first 2 matches, hadn't lost a frame. 6 frames from 6, but has lost his last 3 matches now.
What?
Chris Wakelin finished 5th in Group 1 and lost in the semi-finals to CJ Wee in Group 2.
No.
So we'd love to go one better, obviously get to the final of Group 3. Either way, he's had a good warm-up ahead of his Masters debut next week. Be playing the Belgian Bullet, Luca Brissell.
60. 17. 24. 25.
has a lovely rhythm around the table, Chris Wakelin. It's very important as a player that you have a rhythm as you walk around the table that's not in stark contrast to your normal cueing rhythm. They should be in complete harmony with one another, the way that you walk around the table and your cueing rhythm should all be as one.
Faulty. Faulty one.
I wonder if Chris has an angle here to run the cue ball into the reds. Well, he obviously feels the pink spot's occupied and that it will have to be placed behind this group of reds. And Rob Spencer's in complete agreement with that, so that means that Chris Wakelin now has a red to the left centre.
Yes, thank you. 47.
But didn't do enough with the cue ball there. If he pots this black to go into the reds, he'll have to play it with a lot of side spin, as you can see. That makes the pot missable. And it's been missed, and he's gone into the reds, and all of a sudden, from a player looking favourite to win the frame, well, you've got to say that the favourite to win it now is Kyren with this opportunity.
Yeah, it's almost as if the 48-point lead doesn't really come into it. It's where the bullseye, as you say, is open the reds. So Wilson, who, as I say, really turned it round in style against Carter, has his chance in this opening frame. Well, it's not really worked out.
I've no idea what Kyren's looking at here. Because the red above the cue ball, I'm sure, doesn't pass the blue to the green pocket. Ah, I see, he's going to tempt the red still, but into the yellow pocket. He's just going to see if he will leave anything. It doesn't go in. Oh, wow. That did everything but go in. Kyren wasn't sure, we weren't sure. Chris Wakelin will be delighted to see it still above ground.
Yeah, I think Kyren Wilson thought he got that, but not to be.
What?
A reprieve for Wakelin. Remember, he's on 1 point at the moment, Wilson on 2. This is with the points they won against O'Sullivan taken off. That Jack Jones-Robert Milkins match just about to start over on table 2. Jack Jones down on 1 point, but he has got another match afterwards against Wilson. That's a world final rematch, albeit a lot shorter than the 2-day affair they played last year.
9.
There's something, Dave, I wasn't aware of until I bumped into Rob Milkins just a few minutes ago, that he actually saw Ronnie O'Sullivan put the cue in the bin and withdraw from the event. So going into that previous match with Chris Wakelin, he actually knew the situation.
60.
Well, he's not over the line. 56 in front, but not on a red. There's 2 chances he's had.
Chris Wakelin, 16.
He put all his eggs in one basket there. He believed firmly that he'd get the snooker in behind the green. He hasn't, and there's a red above the pink that Kyren can attempt here into the left corner. The outcome of this frame could very well hinge on the outcome of this shot.
Or maybe this shot. He has left a chance at the red. He was hoping to get the hamper with the brown there. Ooh, but the red's not in. Well, it's 3 chances really Wakelin's had in this frame.
One.
But there's still work for Kyren to do here. The 3 reds just around the pink there will need developing. Kyren's decided that the red closest to the pink there will still cut into the right corner. That will free up one of them, but those 2 together there will need to be cannoned into.
Nine. Fourteen. Kyren Wilson. 14.
Kyren was really nicely on the black anyway, but Chris doesn't have an easy safety to play here. Just depends how much of this red he can see.
One.
Beautifully cued from Kyren. Now that's put him 41 points behind, 43 remain. He doesn't necessarily have to take on a colour here. Just rolling up to the brown.
Kyren Wilson, 1.
What does Chris Wakelin do here? Because getting 2 reds and 2 blacks, or 2 reds, a pink and a black, wouldn't be difficult for Kyren with both of the reds near this pink spot area. Does he play this with pace and hope to put one safe? Or knock one into bulk somewhere?
Foul. Miss. Kyren Wilson, 4. Yeah?
I mean, he seemed a couple of times he was in control of this frame, Wakelin.
Foul. Miss. Kyren Wilson, 4.
Rob spins it. Charge.
Okay, Chris, yeah. Kyren?
Just a slight adjustment. It's only slight, though. Well, the red is cuttable.
One.
Yeah, so nicely done, and a definite chance for Wilson. He's been very determined in this frame, as he has been all day. You know, would have been easy against Carter, sitting out 2 centuries, to get a bit dejected, but the exact opposite happened. He made him more determined to dig in. He got the result there, and he's got the chance here.
5. Six. Nine. 11.
I think what's been so impressive this year with Wilson this season is how he's balanced being world champion and all the spin-offs that come from that, being invited to things, and you know, the way it can take away from practice time and take away focus, and actually concentrating on playing. And he's got the balance spot on. He's won 2 tournaments. He's looked dangerous in other events as well.
80. 23.
Wakelin,
29.
at various points, looked in control of the frame. Kyren Wilson needs the black to steal it.
36.
Yeah,
on the
Kyren
first
Wilson,
back. Kyren
the world champion, showing his class once again. He takes the opening frame. Classy clearance from Kyren Wilson to win the opening frame here against Chris Wakelin. If Wilson were to win the match, he'd go up to 3 points with one more match still to play, so he's looking good for the playoffs. Of course, it's now a 6-man group, effectively. Ronnie O'Sullivan withdrawing.
Kyren proving there that you can break off and hide what would normally be a potable red. Oh, that's a good reply. Tight under the bolt cushion. Kyren having a look to see if he can cut a red into the right corner. Advantageous to him if it will go, because the key ball would return towards the bolt colours.
Yeah, well, it would have been a good pot, actually. These pockets do seem to be playing generously. I was wondering if that would drop, but it didn't. May still be slightly affected, though, by what happened in the first frame.
One.
Jack Jones is going to be 1-0 up against Robert Milkins. Jack, of course, has been in the first 2 finals. Hossein Vafai beat him in Group 1, Sijal Wee in Group 2. And he can still get into the playoffs here this evening.
Six.
Oh, this is awkward for Kyren, queuing over the pack, as you can see. Oh, it wasn't a pot I expected him to miss, though. Oh, what a time to miss a pot like that, because Chris Wakelin comes to the table. A golden opportunity here.
One.
Yeah, and after what happened in frame 1, as we see the replay, Wakelin really will be feeling, right, I need to
Kyren Wilson 6.
punish here.
Eight. Nine. $60. $70.
Judging from the angle, the cue ball came off the side cushion. Suggests to me that Chris Wakeling played for the pink there. And still pot the blue into left centre or far left corner. But it's a missable pot. Well done. Get the break going, but again, still a little out of position.
22. Cheers. 23. $30. 31. 38.
Still a red at the back of the little group of reds below the pink there that's available.
39.
Just going into the pack from the blue won't be straightforward because the pink is a good few inches away from that little triangle of reds. Because often when you go into the pack from the blue, it's actually the pink that develops the reds and not the cue ball. Purposely left himself low on this red. He'll be hoping to be on the black here, but this pot is still missable.
45.
Played it very well indeed.
Yeah, so far so good. But after the last frame, when he was holding a good lead, he really wants to nail this now. Just focus for a few more shots.
53.
I think Chris is just feeling good in general, isn't he? You know, about his snooker, about his life overall. He's become a father, and professional life has come together as well in the last year or so. And having said all of that, he misses the pink.
53.
Dave, you of all people should have heard of the commentator's curse. Amazing, isn't it? It's incredible in all sports, but certainly snooker, you can just take your mind off something that's so straightforward that you take for granted, and in a mere instant, you've made the mistake that can cost you the frame.
1.
Possibly a saving grace for Chris Wakeling will be the red that's closest to that right centre that isn't potable. Will have to be developed.
9.
But you see how great break builder Kyren is. I'm sure he'll leave that red that's just to the left of that one that's awkwardly placed. Because if Kyren were to cannon into it delicately, he could promote the awkward red and guarantee being on the red, well,
60.
that's just above the cue ball as we speak.
$17.
That's good from Kyren. So be looking for an angle on the black
22.
now to play a delicate cannon into the red that's on the right side cushion. Well, I'm very surprised he's playing this one. I really am. Because he's still 25 points behind. So no, that red, it's awkward, is rather isolated. So if he tries to promote it, there's no guarantee that he'll knock it on to a pocket somewhere.
$30. $31.
Well, they say lightning doesn't strike twice, but for Chris Wakelin, seeing seeing Wilson nudge this red out, he'll be concerned he had the first frame stolen from him. This frame, he missed that pink really out of nowhere.
36.
So difficult, though, in the Championship League to play consecutive matches and keep your focus and concentration. Snooker's such a tough sport to play.
37.
That focus and concentration. Drop for an instant, you can miss anything.
This was the pink.
Chris Wakelin.
Also, I think Ronnie's withdrawal has just left people slightly frazzled. There's a slightly different energy about, you know, what's going on and how does this affect the table and all the rest of it.
$41. 43.
Wilson doesn't seem too affected though, does he? He's just sticking to his task. This is a chance for a second steal in a row.
46.
He will need the pink, Kyren, which is slightly awkwardly placed, but if he gets nicely on the blue, it shouldn't be a problem.
$50. $55.
Okay then, pink to middle it is for a 2-0 lead. Yeah,
61 on the frame.
he knew it was
Kyren
in,
Wilson.
so it's 2 frames stolen from behind Chris Wakelin. Seemed to be in control of both of them. Kyren Wilson has won both of them to lead 2-0. Well, it could easily have been 2-0 to Chris Wakelin, but that man there, Kyren Wilson, made the 2 steals. And, well, he's showing steel today, isn't he? 1 frame away from collecting a 3rd point and qualifying for the playoffs. You're just joining us. Ronnie O'Sullivan's withdrawn, so the matches that he played 5 of his 6 matches, they've all been voided. So all the players that beat him have had a point effectively deducted. Jack Jones kind of, in a funny way, came out with the advantage there because he was the only player who lost to O'Sullivan, so he didn't have any points taken off. He's currently 1-0 up, Jones, against Robert Milkins. The players will receive their prize money, though, because they have played the frames. It wasn't their fault someone else withdrew. And Wilson already knocking in a long one. Nice little world champions nudge, that, wasn't it, off the knuckle?
Chris Wakelin taking the 2 frames that he feels he should have won. Of course, I've gone on Kyren's side of the scoreboard. Maybe Kyren wouldn't have potted that long red.
Seven.
Once again, though, the pink spot is occupied, so referee Rob Spencer placing it as close to those reds that you can see, but they mustn't be touching them. Pink will be placed in a direct line with its own spot, as close to those reds as possible, but as I say, mustn't be touching the reds.
Kyren Wilson plays Zhang Anda at the Masters.
Thank you.
And
21.
only in his 2nd appearance there. But a tough opponent, sort of seems unfazed by things generally. Wilson, of course, looking now to tick off some other big titles now that he's world champion. He's won 2 ranking events this season, the Xi'an Grand Prix in China and the Northern Ireland Open. Beat Judd Trump in both finals. Could play Trump in the semis at Ali Pali, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. Got to beat Zhang first, and Trump's got a tough one, actually. Barry Hawkins.
29.
Repeat of the UK Championship final. They're all great matches. Clearly, it's the top 16 in the world.
30.
Just a little too much right-hand side on the cue ball. He can still cut the blue in. I wonder if Kyren will decide to play this with a lot of right-hand side and go into the main bunch. Oh, he's missed the blue because of the side spin.
Kyren Wilson.
Fortunately for him,
30.
didn't make contact with the pack of reds.
Foul. And a miss. Kyren Wilson 4.
Clearly a miscue there for Chris Wakelin. We're just going to pop across the table too. Rob Milkins has the opportunity here to draw level with Jack Jones at 1 frame more, but he's just run out of position a little bit. And he's missed the red. A very, very important match as regards the group table for both of these players. Jack Jones has 1 match in hand over Rob Milkins. He's played 3 of his matches. Rob Milkins 4. So still work to do. But Jack Jones just 27 points behind, but 43 still remain, so every chance he can still extend his lead.
Yeah, it's Milkins' last match, so he's got to win it. It's as simple as that. He's got no more to come. Jack Jones, as you say, plays Wilson. Hello. Oh, it just found its way. And I suppose it's a good job it dropped. He didn't want it over the pocket.
Chris Wakelin. Foul and a miss. Chris Wakelin 4.
Big misjudgment there from Kyren. Was trying to drop onto the red just to the left of the cue ball. He's a good 4 inches out or so with the line of the shot. The pace was okay.
One. Seven. Eight.
This is a little awkward now for Chris because the red below the pink won't pass another red to the left corner. It's rather straight on this pink. So he's now considering green or brown. Rather straight on the yellow, I should have said. There are balls that will pot into this right corner if you can get the cue ball across to somewhere near the blue. Playing the green, so let's just see how he plays this. Needs this cue ball to keep going. Now, does the red closest to the pink pot? It looks as though it may.
Well, he led the way in the first 2 frames and lost them. In this one, he was trailing.
$18. $19.
Well, it's got close on table 2. Jack Jones, he was nicely in just before we came to it, actually. He's just left this awkward, this yellow, but he's 19 behind. 1-0 up in the match.
25.
In goes the yellow and the on this green, I think so.
26.
He is on the green, but not ideally. Maybe he can cannon into the pink to hold for the brown.
Well, it's a great chance for 2-0.
32.
And of course, if he won the match, then Robert Milkins will be relegated. This is his last match.
33.
What's all happening here? Chris Wakelin awkward queuing on the pink. Gone in. Jack Jones needs blue, pink and black here. 10 points behind. Blue and pink would put him one ahead.
39.
So a key positional shot coming up. And that's not ideal, is it? In fact, very awkward.
40.
Yeah, it's sort of no man's land, really, that cue ball. Remember, though, how well he finished that maximum off the other day. Potted a really good pink, different sort of shot, but obviously a lot of pressure on it to make his first 147.
Certainly safer digging down into the cue ball to play the pink in the green pocket. No. He was guaranteed a decent cue ball, but is it good enough? Rob Milkins just needs the pink.
And Chris Wakelin, he's getting close as well. He's left it hampered over the black, though, wouldn't you know it? So, table 2, Milkins pink for 1 each. It's classic Milkins. Nailed it, and it's 1 apiece there. Meantime, as I say, Wakelin left this awkward. He's asking now for the bridge rest, as Dominic always calls it.
Well, I wouldn't be taking this on, I can promise you. No.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you. Chris Wakelin.
Especially given the way he lost the first 2 frames.
Well, the danger is still there, isn't it, down the line of another clearance? That really would be pretty miserable match all told for Wakelin. He could have won all these frames, but he's not out of this one yet. 24 in front. Really just looking for another chance on the red. Just red and colour needed. Oh, well, what a difference. That may just make this a bit more awkward.
Well, the biggest difference that made was if that cue ball found the pocket, it would have been a free ball.
Yeah, and then it could have been match over. Tense moments here.
Very good safety from Kyren. Chris Wakelin needs to get this safe. Oh, he struck that red 4 ball, which was his intention. Has he got the snooker back? Maybe not quite. In fact, I don't think he's covered the potting angle, so a chance for Kyren perhaps here. The only thing I didn't like about that shot that Chris has played, it gives Kyren the chance to double the red back up to bulk and get the cue ball behind the blue as a snookering ball potentially. Played a different shot, but again trying to use blue and pink as snookering balls. Hasn't quite managed it though. Kyren was pushing the boat out there. He tried to cannon the red half ball, leave the cue ball in behind the black, but he's left a lot on now. Any colour will do. Chris Wakelin to get a foothold finally in this match.
Yeah, and then you never know what can happen for the rest of it. You can understand in a way Wakelin's focus just dipping here and there because he has played in every group so far. Of course, Wilson has come in for the first time. Now, there's benefits to playing in every group. In theory, he should be sharp, but okay, they're not digging the streets, but fatigue can set in. They're long days here. There's a lot of hanging about as well, and you've got to try and stay as focused as you can. Anyway, he's won this frame. Thankfully, no damage done to the blue there in that shot. Anyway, a bit of damage done to Kyren Wilson. He left the last red on. Chris Wakelin has done the rest, and he reduces the arrears to 2-1. We'll be back when the players return to table 1. This is table 2, 1 each, Jack Jones and Robert Milkins. We saw Milkins pot that excellent pink in frame 2. Jones just didn't come nice on it. So Milkins fighting, well, they're both fighting to stay in the event, but this is Milkins' last match, so he's, I guess, in more trouble, although Jack Jones' last match is against Kyren Wilson, so that'll be tough. Both on 1 point. Of course, the difference is Milkins did beat O'Sullivan, Jones lost to him, so this has impacted, O'Sullivan's withdrawal has impacted this group for sure. And for Milkins in a negative way, because the point that he earned has been taken off. Milkins finished 5th in Group 2 on Tuesday night. Ooh, he's missed that one. Drop, he says. But it's not obeyed, I'm afraid. Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel for Table 2. Table 1, it's 2-1 Kyren Wilson over Chris Wakelin. Of course, it was 2-0, Wakelin winning frame 3. So Wilson needs 1 to effectively secure qualification for the playoffs. He's still got another match to play then against Jack Jones. That made a lovely noise, didn't it? And positionally excellent also. Great pot, you see from the overhead. What a terrific pot that was, but also really good position on the black.
Eight. Nine. Yes, Chris, thank you. 15. Cheers, thanks. Go on. 60.
Key shot coming up here.
Foul. Chris Wakelin 16. Kyren Wilson 7.
Well, this is finished as bad as it could. The in-off and then the red going into bulk. So out of nowhere, Wilson with a scoring chance. Can see why players get frustrated. You know, there's a sort of rueful smile on Chris Wakelin's face, hiding a myriad of frustrations underneath.
Yeah, he didn't get right into the meat of the reds, and to have done that, he'd have had to put a lot more side spin on the cue ball, which makes it risky, because if you hit the cue ball with left-hand side, it shoves the cue ball over to the right, so it's almost a mini swerve in effect. It completely alters the true potting angle of the ball that you're going for. Oh, Kyren just slightly hampered, as you can see, by the red near the middle pocket there.
Five.
Just didn't get the action on the cue ball, so a tough blue coming up.
11.
Kyren just stopped in his tracks there. That cue ball rebounded a little quicker on the top cushion than he thought it would. Does he still have choice of pink and black?
Meanwhile, Jack Jones going well here in frame 3. That black puts him 39 in front, so just needs this red to middle to lead 2-1. He's shown such steel in this event. He's actually had a few neck problems, hasn't he? You know, and he's been getting a bit of treatment from the team here at the Mattioli Arena, because this is a basketball arena and they have medical staff. And, well, they've done a good job because he's still going.
80.
Pink to make absolutely sure of the frame.
Jack Jones proving to be a pain in Robert Milkins' neck at the moment. Robert Milkins, if he doesn't win this match, will be relegated.
$25. Kyren Wilson. 25.
Oh, he's covered the red that's over the corner pocket, but can Chris Wakelin plant 2 reds onto it? And I think he can, just about. 2 reds in the middle of the bunch. He's looking at them now. But so often when he plays a shot like this, you completely forget about the position of the cue ball. So will he screw back for the blue? Oh dear. Again, you see the cue ball's in no man's land anyway, but wow, he's done a lot of damage there.
Yeah, I mean, there's every chance that'll be his last shot. We'll see.
Well,
I'd be surprised if it wasn't, to be honest. And if Wilson can nail this frame, then he'll be coming back for the playoffs later. He's still got another match to play before that. Rematch of the World Final with Jack Jones. That'll be on table 2 at 4:30. And be on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. Few memories coming back with the 2 of them there. Of course, Wilson in that final won the first 7 frames and really did the damage from the off.
6. $30.
Just wonder if this group is going to come down to Mark Selby and Kyren Wilson later. They're the 2 real big hitters left, I guess. 2 world champions. Of course, Ali Carter's still in the mix. And Wakelin's not out of it yet either, because he's got another match to play against Selby.
Yeah, you never know quite what will happen in those playoffs, because the mindset changes. It's a straight knockout.
22.
It's true, I just think those 2, you know, their mindset is good in any format, isn't it? And just, we've seen both of them, Selby and Wilson, just so determined in every frame they played. For the record, when they did play each other in the group, Selby won 3-1, but there were 3 centuries in that. Anyway,
28.
Wilson needs this red to get over the line here in this match. And Wakelin must have feared this when he failed to execute the plan to knock the red in over the pocket. He had the first 2 frames stolen from him as well, so it could have been a different story. As I say, he will go again, albeit against Selby, who's unbeaten. So Chris Wakelin not out of it yet.
36. 37. 42. Kyren Wilson, 42.
So
Frame
that was
in
the
the
winning
match.
break, and the world champion
Just
Kyren
thank
Wilson
you. Chris,
completes
thanks.
victory over Chris Wakelin by 3 frames to 1. So Kyren Wilson and Mark Selby, 2 big hitters, both in the playoffs later. The other place is still to be decided. The match continues on table 2. Jack Jones and Robert Milkins is still 1 each. Milkins is playing for Snookers there. This is the table. So Selby, of course, they're playing a match fewer now because Ronnie O'Sullivan's withdrawn. All the results featuring O'Sullivan have been voided, so they're playing 5 matches as opposed to 6. So Selby's still got 1 to play, but of course he's won all his matches. Wilson on 3 points, he's got another match to play as well. Ali Carter on 2, he's finished, so he's waiting on the other results. Wakelin will play Selby later. Milkins playing his last match. Jack Jones plays Wilson later. So it will all be resolved in the next session. You can watch Table 2, of course, right now. But in terms of Table 1, we'll be back at 4:30. And at the end of the night, we'll have our 3rd player into the winners group of the BetVictor Championship League. So we'll see you later on. For now, though, from us all here in Leicester, it's goodbye.